Okay, everybody, so it turns out that losing your job is actually a pretty normal thing. Thousands and thousands of people here in the United States and around the world lose their jobs on a daily basis. And chances are, you, the person watching this video, might have lost your job in the past or might one day lose your job. Here are some not so fun facts for you. During the peak of the dot-com bust in 2001, about 2 million Americans had lost their jobs because of the economy. And during the peak of the Great Recession in 2009, about 2.6 million Americans had lost their jobs. And of course, during the Great Lockdown of 2020, we're looking at over 22 million people in the United States had become jobless because of external factors, because of things we can't really control. And look, there are plenty of reasons why you might lose your job. You may lose your job due to performance issues. You might even lose your job because of layoffs. Maybe the company you're working at needs to trim the fat, as they say. Or of course, you might lose your job because the economy is going down due to external factors you can't really control. Regardless, you need to know what to do if you were to lose your job or if you've already just lost your job. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the 5 things you need to do in the event that you were to lose your job, regardless of the reason why you lost the job in the first place. What is going on, everyone? Chris Vincelli here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the YouTube channel that discusses personal development and finances and everyday life experiences. And like I said, I'm gonna dive into the 5 things you need to do in the event you were to lose your job, and I'm gonna dive into those things right now. Okay, and the first thing that you need to do is when you do hear the news that your role is getting cut, that your position is being eliminated, and that you're losing your job, you need to keep your cool. You need to stay calm, cool, and collected. You need to stay professional and be understanding. There are many reasons why one might lose their job, and in many cases, it's not even their fault. Like I said, you might lose your job because the company is not performing well and they need to downsize. That might not necessarily be your fault or the fault of the manager who's delivering the bad news to you. Sometimes companies just need to make cuts. Even if the company is doing well, they might need to reorganize and make cuts in certain departments. It happens everywhere. So don't take it personally. Be professional about it. Keep it cool. Keep your cool. Stay calm, cool, and collected, and stay professional. You do not want to burn any bridges. You want to maintain those relationships with the people above you at the company and of course with your peers. Reason being is that a lot of times companies will help you find a new job. Sometimes they'll help you find a job within the company. They'll just maybe shift you over to another department if you're open to doing that. Or if they can't do that, they can help you find a job outside of the company as well. They're not going to do that if you were unprofessional or belligerent with the company and with your manager when they deliver the bad news. They're going to be as helpful as they can so long as you remain cool, so long as you remain professional and keep doing your work and be understanding. Another reason to remain professional with your company and with your peers and with your manager is so that they can provide references for you in the future when you are interviewing for new roles. You want to make sure that you can cultivate a solid group of potential references for you so that when you do start interviewing for different companies and when those companies are looking at you as a candidate, those companies might reach out to your references and those references can say good things about you. You want to make sure that you don't leave a bitter taste in anyone's mouth as you leave the company. You want to leave on good terms. You want them to have a good, lasting impression of you, and that's done by being professional, by being understanding, and of course being cooperative and completing your work there. And heck, of course, you also want to understand why you're losing your job. So keep those lines of communication open with your superiors, with your manager. You want to understand why. Was it because of some performance issue that maybe you can learn from? Was it some external factor that you had no control over? You want to get as much feedback as possible, and understanding why can definitely help you moving forward. Okay, the second thing you need to do is understand if they're giving you a severance package or not. And if they are, clearly understand what's in that severance package. What's coming with it? Are they giving you some sort of monetary compensation in that severance package? Will the benefits that you had enjoyed in the past continue for the foreseeable future? What's gonna happen to your health insurance? Will you continue to stay on the same plan? Are you eligible for COBRA? And finally, what about your 401k? Can you let things be? Do you need to transfer your 401k to some other brokerage account? Understand what are some of the implications in the severance package, not only as it relates to the monetary compensation that they might be offering you, but also when it comes to your benefits as well. And if your health insurance is coming to an end, by the way, now might be the time to fit in as many doctor's appointments as possible, because you might not be able to do so as easily once your health insurance ends. Okay, so once you have a clear understanding of what's in your severance package, the thing that you want to do next, the third thing that you want to do is to think about your next step. What do you want to do next? Do you want to go ahead and find a new job? Do you want to maybe find a job within the same company? Is that even a possibility? Do you want to find a job elsewhere? Maybe a job in the same industry, or perhaps a different industry, but in the same job function? You really want to have a good understanding of what your next step is going to be. Maybe it doesn't even entail finding a job. Maybe this is a time for you to take some time off and go vacation around the world or something. Heck, this might be a good time to go back to school and learn some new skills, expand your skill set. So if you need to take a break, this might be a good time to take that break and perhaps do something different. You might not even want to do any of those things and take this opportunity to start a new company. So take a moment to think about your future, what you really want to do with yourself over the coming years. You don't have to necessarily make a split-second decision thinking that finding a new job right away is the only option for you. This is a moment for you to shift your life in a different direction if you want. And it's important to reflect and to take some time to think about what you want to do, what your next step should be. Speaking of next steps, your next step should be to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I come out with other great and similar content. And if you're liking this video, go ahead and smash that like button. It's really gonna help me understand what type of content I should keep putting out there. And by the way, guys, I'm also on Instagram, so feel free to follow me there. All right, and the next thing is, regardless of what your next step is gonna be, you're gonna wanna build an inventory of all the accomplishments that you've attained at that company and in that role. So let's say if you worked in their marketing department, well, you're gonna wanna start to take note of all the campaigns that you've launched, all the marketing campaigns that you've launched, and of course, the results that you got from your work. Same thing, for example, if you worked in sales, take note of all the new clients that you brought in, and make sure you take note of all the accomplishments that you succeeded in achieving while you were in that position. You're gonna wanna take note of all these accomplishments so that when you go back onto the job market, when you start looking for new roles, you can talk about your accomplishments and provide proof of everything that you succeeded in doing in your previous roles. That's gonna make you a lot more marketable and much more attractive to future employers, especially if you have the documentation and the proof to back up everything you're saying. Okay, and regardless of what direction you take in the future, whether you want to go back to school and learn some new skills, whether you want to find a new job but within the same company, or heck, if you want to look for a new job elsewhere, regardless of the direction you want to take, you want to clean up your resume and go fix and update that LinkedIn profile that you have. You want to make sure that you tailor your resume to the jobs and the industries that you might want to work in the future. So make sure that your resume is up to date, that it includes all of your accomplishments that you've succeeded in attaining in your previous roles. Make sure those accomplishments are well documented in the resume. And of course, make sure that your LinkedIn is perfected and optimized so that recruiters can start finding your profile on LinkedIn and start reaching out to you. And obviously, when you do start applying to different roles, your new employers might want to check out your LinkedIn profile, and they're going to be turned off if your LinkedIn profile hasn't been updated in months or years or just isn't completely filled out. So yes, this is the time to clean up your resume, perfect it, and customize it for the job and for the industry that you're gonna target, and update that LinkedIn profile, make sure it's perfect. So when a recruiter is looking for someone like you, they can find your profile easily and be attracted to what they find on LinkedIn. And of course, that would lead them to potentially reaching out to you with an opportunity to apply and interview for a role that they have in mind. Okay, so quick question for you all. Have you ever lost your job? And if so, What was the first thing you did after losing it? I would love to hear your stories. Please drop them in the comment section below. I think we would all really appreciate hearing about them. And listen, guys, as I mentioned earlier, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every single time I come out with other great and similar content. And if you like the video, go ahead and smash that like button. It's really gonna help me with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, it helps me too. It helps me understand what type of videos I should keep putting out there. And by the way, like I said, I'm also on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram as well. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.